Regional parties are extremely important. And I think the bigger parties or the bigger governance should realize this because they are the ones who have absolute local touch.
Mumbai looking at Alibag as a second home, but for the locals, it's their first and only
Only
home.
home and the kind of influence, good and bad, this whole dynamics has had, and the kind of politics that it has,
And what do you think has been the biggest lesson that you've learned from him?
I think is positivity.
Yeah.
Sometimes I call it toxic positivity.
Why toxic?
He's very positive. I think it's important to also look at the negative parts in life. Humility is such a thing that if you know you have it, you've lost it. So I asked the journalist, how many hours do you work?
Yeah.
So she said 12, 13 hours. I'm like, how many hours are you paid for? She said 8 hours. I said, you need a Marxist party. That's what Marxism talks about. Equal basic human rights for all. Roti, kapda, makan.
Yeah. पापा कहते हैं बड़ा नाम करेगा.
पापा कहते हैं बड़ा नाम करेगा. Aniket Tatkare. I have many names, but no. It'll create controversy, so I won't say.
Hello and welcome to Politically Speaking by Lokatantra, where we make politics personal. Our guest today is Mrs. Chitralekha Patil, the chairperson of the Centre for Transforming India, an ex-member of the Alibag Municipal Council, a candidate for the Alibag Vidhan Sabha, and also the head of the Raigad District Women's Cell for the Peasants and Workers Party. Hi Chiutai, thank you so much for joining us today. We would like to start by talking a little bit about you. So tell us about your childhood and upbringing. Where did your story start?
I was born in Nasik.
Yeah.
And I came from a business family. I was a normal student, I think, a very normal student.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to say a weak student, but I used to pass all my classes and I fared well. And then I came to Bombay to study media. Media interested me a lot. Then I studied my advertising and journalism in Wilson College in Mumbai. Right here, yeah. After that, I worked with Balaji Telefilms. I worked as an assistant director on films. I worked with Z for a longest time.
Oh, okay.
And then I got married. And then I did a lot of different things again.
So where did politics come into the picture from?
Actually, politics came after marriage.
Okay.
Because I got married into a political family. And it happened so that my father-in-law was in MLC that time.
Okay.
And I was really young when I got married, as young as 22.
Okay.
So then I started living in Alibag and I had nothing to do. So my father-in-law liked our company. We used to read. We used to tell him that this is going on, that is going on. We used to guide him and he used to find us fun.
Yeah.
So he used to take us along in the car and make us do. We used to carry his bouquets behind. And we used to write things that you have to remind this one. So perpetually I became his PA. Then I started getting to know the locals. And because I had a bit of a journalism background, because it interested me, then they also, because my family has a certain level of respect in Alibag.
Yeah.
Not for one, but for 4 generations.
Yeah.
So they perceived me in a different manner.
Absolutely.
So also it came with legacy.
Yeah.
And then I started because I like to interact with people. I like to learn. I like to know. So I interacted with them and that's how it just started. They made me contest and they made me contest right now also in 2024.
But did you think, Lanpadi, that, politics would eventually be something that you would consider or land
No,
up with?
no, never.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Just
I was
completely by
very
chance.
passionate about media. I always thought I would be a media professional.
And interestingly, in your family, your husband is not a politician.
He's not.
There is, you were picked.
He's there with us.
Yeah.
He supports us.
Yeah.
He's there around during elections. He guides us, and he kind of holds the guns.
Yeah.
But he's never involved. He's not so much of a people's person.
Sure.
And actually, he's so consumed by his business that he just can't. I mean, it's impossible. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't interest him also, like the villages and this fascinates me and my father-in-law. It doesn't fascinate.
It doesn't fascinate
The
him.
groundwork doesn't fascinate him as much.
I'm sure, yeah. And it does take a certain amount of passion,
time and just interest also.
Would you say that your father-in-law has been the biggest political influence in your life?
Yeah, because I saw politics from his
Vantage point.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And what do you think has been the biggest lesson that you've learned from him?
I think it's positivity.
Yeah.
Sometimes I call it toxic positivity.
Why toxic
He's very positive. I think it's important to also look at the negative parts in life. But yeah, he is very energetic and positive for his age, and
Yeah, absolutely.
and you know, in life, you look at life in a certain way, right?
Yeah.
So the way he looks at life, attitudinally, I really find that nice.
Yeah.
It's nice because I've seen him go through really tough times. I've seen him lose. I've seen him win. But the angle of life that he looks at, I think that resonates with the way I've also looked at,
Look at your life.
since childhood.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything that he has learned from you?
To let go. To let go.
These are such philosophical answers.
Yeah. No,
To let
seriously,
go.
to let go. Like, he trusts a lot. So a lot of people cheat him. Okay? So when people cheat him, he feels very angry with them. And he's a very tempered man. So he feels so angry with them. So I'm like, let go. Down there. Because it's so often that I'm like, why did you trust him in the first place?
But fair enough.
So every time we go through the circle of life,
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So you're very happy in politics. It's your calling. It's what.
I am happy. Sometimes I get frustrated.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel lost. Should I give my time to other things also? But yeah, I like it. There's something that draws me.
Because it is a demanding job.
It is, but I love my people.
Yeah.
And I love my constituency, and they love me and I love them. I think that's
all that matters.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the constituency. Tell us what makes Raigad special or different.
See, Raigad has 6 MLA constituencies.
Yeah.
Within that, mine is Alibag Murud Roha.
Yeah.
The one which I contested right now.
Correct.
It probably might change in 29 because there is a delimitation which is going to happen. But I think Raigad is very interesting. It has everything. It has tourism. It has a rural economy which is very, very strong.
Okay.
It has huge number of Adivasi population.
Okay.
It has a farmer population, but yet being so close to Bombay, it will also give you that urban feel at many points.
Sure.
And as you know, I mean, each one of you have heard about Alibag being like the second home for all the Bollywood and all that.
Absolutely.
But I look at it from the locals' point of view. And the person living there, born and brought up there. So my point of view will always be that. And it's a different story when you look at it from that point of view.
100%.
Yeah.
Versus, like you're saying, Mumbai looking at Alibag as the second
Yeah,
home. But for the locals, it's their first
Yeah,
and
only home. And the kind of influence, good and bad, this whole dynamics has had. And the kind of politics that it has because of this is very, very...
No, I'm sure that must be very... But what would you say is something about Alibag or Raigad that would surprise our audience? Something that they might not know about the place.
Surprise. Just come to Alibag. It's full of surprises.
I remember you were telling me before the interview that cricket is a huge part.
Crazy.
Which I didn't know.
Crazy. Tennis cricket is the thing. I mean, now also, I think after 10 days, we have one big tennis match which we conduct.
Oh, really?
Yeah. As a tribute to Swargiya Bhau Prabhakar Patil, my father-in-law's father. So we do a huge match and it's a frenzy.
Yeah.
Cricket is a frenzy in Alibag. And they love tennis cricket, not the Indo-Pak match.
Got it.
And even I feel, even as a profession, tennis cricket is played so much in not even 2-tier cities, in the rurals right now.
General.
That I think in the next 10 to 15 years, the mainstream will not be about leather cricket. Like no one imagined 2020 to be a thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And today now 2020 has taken over everything.
Yeah.
So in the next 10 to 15 years, it's going to be 2020 format with tennis ball. Already tape ball has come in.
Yeah.
Already ISPL has come in.
Correct. So you think it's going to shift
And I think in that, Alibag is going to have the biggest role to play. Because the kind of players that we have
are
superb.
Yeah.
And I mean, even the women, in the village if you go, you'll find a corner, there'll be 10 women sitting.
Yeah.
And then I go and ask them, "Kai karta hai?" They'll be like, "Ite Wi-Fi hai." So what are you doing? Match chalu hai, amcha gaavcha mulga khelto hai.
How sweet.
It is like that. I mean,
that is real craze.
That's real craze.
That's genuine craze.
And they have their own heroes, huh? Like Bhushan Zavre from Tajpur, Aryan Kharkar from Thar.
Wow, wow.
So it's their own heroes, and so Alibag dwells amongst Alibag.
Yes.
For Alibag, it's all about Alibag. They have a own world of their own. They are fish. They are
Everything. They have a very unique culture in that sense. But
and they are engrossed in that culture.
Yeah. Like you said, there's considering the dynamics of being this close to the city and having their own cultural heritage and all of that. What do you think Alibag will look like in 10 years?
There are two answers to this question. The way I want Alibag to look,
and the way that you are afraid it might.
I'm afraid it might. See, the thing is, the development is really good.
Yeah.
But I always say, what about the development of the son of the soil?
Correct, yeah.
And I think, as a politician, when I look at it, it has to be the son of the soil, because sometimes in this development bid, cities, cultures get wiped out.
Yeah.
And outsiders come for business and trading regions.
Sure, yeah.
Reasons like, for example, Dubai. Dubai has everything but a soul.
Yeah. Very true.
So I really fear, I don't want that to happen to Alibag. We keep telling people that don't sell your land.
Don't sell your
Don't
land.
sell your land. Educate yourself. Build those hotels. We want to see you as owners. We want to see you as hoteliers.
Absolutely.
We want the tourists to come in. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Let the tourists come in. But what happens sometimes, there's a piece of land.
Yeah.
And a young, uneducated boy sells it.
Yeah.
He gets money that he's never seen in his life. And then suddenly all he does is conducts crickets. He just buys a lot of gold.
Yeah.
He just has a big haldi.
Yeah.
And the money is over. And within 5 years, he's Mr. Nobody.
Yeah.
And the money is gone. And the land is also gone. And the family can never buy the land again. Yeah.
Because the price that they've sold it
it's so
exorbitant in comparison to what they had.
So and we are, as a political party today, we are consciously striving for this.
Yeah. So
to balance development, but ensure that the development is not about those shiny hoardings. It's about human beings.
Yeah.
And Alibagkars.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, that makes sense. So that is, you said what you are hoping will happen.
Yeah.
What you are afraid will happen is a Dubai type situation.
That's happening.
Which is
MR has also come in. But no, we are fighting it out. I mean, we are not so easy about it.
Sure.
We are really fighting it out. Sometimes people look at us as anti-developmental.
Yeah.
But when people really understand what we are talking about,
it's a more nuanced opinion than that.
Yeah, it is. No. And people get it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And there are a lot of things like we want to protect our young generation from drugs, alcoholism. And really, and even if you see for 3 generations, our family has focused on educating the locals. And today even I've done that.
Yeah, you run the PNP Educational Society, correct. Okay, so that is what you think Alibag will look like in 10 years. But as of right now, you said you all are trying to get these good policy initiatives going. What does the governance of Alibag actually look like? I know there's a Panchayat Samiti, there's also another.
So Alibag is a taluka in Raigad.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So within that taluka, there are 62 gram villages.
Correct.
1 Nagar Panchayat.
1 Nagar
Panchayat.
Okay.
C category Nagar Panchayat. And 62 villages. And we have a floating population of close to 25,000 every day.
Okay.
So which is sometimes really good in terms of the economy.
Sure.
The local food, the cottages and all that.
Yeah. But do you think that from the 62 Gram Panchayats, there is a chance of them becoming more urbanized in the future?
See, urbanization is not a problem at all. Like, I'll give you an example. If you look at a Gram Panchayat like Nagaon, the whole Gram Panchayat, all the cottages, all the hotels are owned by local people.
Okay.
The women and the self-help groups there make our local food.
Yeah.
Tourists come there, stay with us.
Yeah.
People earn. People live a moderate, simple life, but they make money, they own the land, and there is something that is preserved.
Got it.
But unfortunately, if you look at the Mandwa belt, so it's a different story. Everything is sold out, and
there'll be from Bombay from it's largely Bombay people. No, that makes sense. Your party has always had its foundation in Raigad.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the party. Where did this movement start from?
So all our
Who started
party leaders during 1947 were a part of the Congress.
Okay.
But there was a sect of the Congress which believed that the Congress is not taking care of its farmers and the
Okay.
laborers.
Got it.
So that hence they adopted Marxism, Leninism,
Got
and they founded a new party called Shetkari Kamgar Paksha,
Yeah.
Peasants and Workers,
Workers'
Party.
Party.
It's the peasants, the
farmers.
farm
Yeah.
labor.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. One of the founder member was our great grandfather.
Correct.
And you must have seen that documentary on BBC, I think. He did a andolan, he did a protest for the farmers against the khot.
Yeah.
They didn't farm for 7 years. But eventually after 7 years, they made the land tax free. And Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar at that time fought their case.
Oh.
And that's where we get our legacy from.
Got it.
Yeah, and he was the MLA of Alibag, of course.
Yeah.
He was a principal. His
Okay.
wife was a school principal. He was a member of the then SSC board.
So the education has always been
Always
part
been,
of
yeah.
politics.
Even
also.
even my great grandfather, he was responsible because education was not big in Konkan that time.
Yeah.
It was better in other parts of Maharashtra. So he was the one who was instrumental in making teachers in Raigad.
Okay.
And he made sure that these teachers got a government job.
Got it.
And that has really developed Raigad.
But what does being a Marxist look like in today's day and age? What do you think do you think the ideology is still relevant today?
See, that's what happens. It's one of the most relevant ideology, but unfortunately branded as the most unrelevant.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that is because I'll tell you, the parties have not been able to communicate themselves well.
Okay.
What is Marxism? It's basic human ideology. See,
Sure.
when there was a protest, what did they protest for? People who were working for 18 hours, they asked for 16 hours
Yeah.
of work.
So it's basic human rights.
Human rights. And I think in today's age, I remember when I was giving an interview to a journalist. So I asked the journalist, how many hours do you work?
Yeah.
So she said 12, 13 hours. I'm like, how many hours are you paid for? She said 8 hours.
hours.
I said, you need a Marxist party for your human rights. And I mean, I'm telling you, in the corporates that is happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Corporate slavery is happening. Everywhere that is happening.
Statements made by the L&T
Exactly,
guy,
yeah.
even Mr. Murthy. It's
So I think Marxist parties are very, very important because they talk about social equality. They
Yeah.
talk about educational equality.
Yeah.
They talk about equality in healthcare. How do you expect? Like, for example, my son goes to the bestest of the bestest school.
yeah.
I believe all the children, all studying in PNP or across cathedral or wherever in the world or a ZP school.
Yeah.
I think children are children.
Yeah.
They are intelligent.
Yeah.
It's just we don't give them equal opportunity.
Absolutely.
And that is, today why are you here? Because your parents sent you to Oxford.
yeah.
Had
sure.
they not, I think there were other Tanishas in India who were as smart but couldn't go to Oxford.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's
Things,
what
but
Marxism,
yes,
that's what Marxism talks about. Equal education for all.
Yeah.
Equal healthcare for all. Equal basic human rights for all. Roti,
Yeah.
kapda, makan.
Yeah.
And
No,
which
fair
is, I
enough.
think, fair. And these are the values that we have.
Yeah.
Some people might find it redundant, but so funny. The people who find it redundant, it's really funny because that's what we live.
Absolutely.
I think the whole problem with today's politics is, I'm very philosophical that way, but the
Yeah.
whole problem with today's politics is media blinds us with such irrelevant issues
and stories.
and stories, and we get consumed with those issues and stories.
Yeah. 100%.
But we do not realize that our real problem is
Is-
price rise,
yeah.
is taxation, is safety and security, is environment.
Yeah.
We are not talking about that.
Yeah. No, that is.
And
a fair
that's
enough
where
point.
parties like us are relevant. And I think why we will be relevant in the next generation is because a certain generation was born after WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So they got blinded to WhatsApp. But now the newer generation, which is born in say 2014, 13, they know this is written to me with an agenda.
Absolutely.
And this is my reality.
Reality.
So now when I speak to younger children who are 8, 10, 15, they really identify that difference smarter than the adults.
100%. And now the wonderful thing is in lots of educational curriculums, they are
Yeah.
also taught to be
Yeah.
able to filter between the propaganda
And yeah.
and the real
Yeah.
story, which is
So
wonderful.
I think that will, when
I'll
it will,
definitely
yeah.
make a difference. On a slightly different note, tell us a little bit about what happened during the MLC elections last year. What went wrong over there?
I think we were with Mahavikas Agadi,
Yeah,
but unfortunately they filed another candidate,
yeah,
which I think wasn't a fair deal because we worked very honestly in the India Alliance,
yeah.
and we were responsible for getting a lot of MPs
Votes and
elected,
MPs elected, yeah.
elected. But unfortunately, they did contest and we lost.
Yeah.
And we had that MLC in our house for 25 years.
Exactly.
And I
yeah.
think that was very unfair on us.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then, as I told you, our agenda is not about these posts and about this. It's about
But
our
do
people.
you think-
It's about our thought process. Because see, the kind of vote bank we have behind us,
Sure.
we could have easily left a party and become who's who ministers.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, this ideology is something that we will never part
Leave
with,
or-
and our commitment to the people is something we'll never part with.
But do you think
And we get cheated often.
do you think in this particular circumstance it has changed the way that you look at the alliance or changed
See,
your loyalty or how you feel about being a part of the MBA?
you were definitely disappointed. But now let's see. There's time.
There's
Let's see,
time.
yeah. So, but finally, for us, it's all about PWP.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
And it's about that core ideologies that I was talking about. So our focus would be that, and independently that eventually.
There was a lot of criticism about the fact that that there were larger players trying to essentially eradicate smaller regional parties. Like the same thing that happened with Mr. Jayant Patil. They also did not bat for Raju Shetty when he was
Yeah,
expecting
yeah,
their
yeah.
support. What would you say is the importance of regional parties in today's Maharashtra politics?
I think it's very important. Regional parties are extremely important. And I think the bigger parties or the bigger governance should realize this, because they are the ones who have absolute local touch.
Exactly.
And they are really connected to the grassroots
Yeah.
and the people there. So it's very important to let regional parties live,
Yeah.
let them become bigger,
Yeah. Support them. help
support them,
grow.
yeah, let them grow, because that will help the fabric of India.
Sure.
And they are important. And like I say, you can never have one party. I don't believe in a dictatorial system.
Yeah.
The constructive opposition is extremely important in any kind of whoever
Absolutely,
gets elected.
absolutely.
So similarly, small parties with local connects, small groups which are not creating any major nuisance for you are extremely important.
Absolutely. No, fair enough. As a member of the Alibag Municipal Council, and like you said, you all are very much in touch with the grassroots.
Yeah.
What does a typical day in your life look like?
Well, that I was. There's
You
been no
were, but
election. There has been no elections in
election
3
now
years.
for a while,
And after that, I contested my MLA election. So I don't think I'll go back there again.
Fair.
But a typical day, see, so I do multiple things.
Yeah.
I run my school, I run my NGO, I
Yeah.
run my home,
Yeah.
I have my friends,
Yes.
and I'm a part of the party, so I'm
Yeah.
meeting people in and out. So usually when I get up, I go to the gym,
Yeah.
and then usually people come,
Yeah.
and then I meet them with, there are some invitations, there are some problems I solve. Then I tell them I have to go, I have a meeting. Then I go, I do some meetings in my educational office.
Yeah.
Then I again come back to party office,
Yeah.
which is our Peasants and Workers
Workers'
Party
Party.
office. Again, meet people for 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Then again, if I go for condolences, I go meet people. Maybe
Fair
I
enough.
just do some
कार्यक्रams,
openings, or there are some concerns I have to address. I do that. Again, in the evening, I come. I'm on Zoom, roaming around in the house, doing some Zoom calls here and there. Then
Yeah.
I spend some time with my family.
Yeah. Okay.
Eat dinner. There are some people again who come over for dinner, lunch. I spend some time with them.
That's a lot of people you meet within
Yeah.
a day. By all
Then I go in
standards.
my room. Then I watch Shark Tank.
And
Then I
go-
watch Patal
That's
Lok and all.
Very nice. That's
So
that's when there are maja starts.
all that I do, and I sleep.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
have a very simple sort of day.
Yeah, but So all of these people are coming to you with different things. What is the most absurd request that somebody has come to you with?
No absurd requests, but things like I will not get married if you don't come. I'm like, no, you're not doing that. I'm coming. But no, there are sometimes really funny things.
I'm sure,
but,
yeah.
But it's not good to say on television or a channel, because that means something to them.
Of course, it does
See,
mean something to them.
what might be funny for you and me is something
Is
important.
something that is important for them. No, fair enough.
So that sensitivity is important.
Absolutely.
So till weddings is okay.
Till weddings, it's fine, Sanil. Now moving on to our fun rapid fire round. I'm going to tell you a bunch of internet terminologies, and you tell me if you know the meaning. You have a young son, so hopefully you should.
He
know
lives in
these,
hostel, and I live in Alibag.
But still, there is. I'm hoping that Raj has exposed you to some.
Oh
of
my
these
God.
things.
Can we skip this?
IMO.
Can we skip this? Can we
Let's
skip
try 2, 3.
Okay, chalo, nahi. Pass.
IMO.
No.
LMAO.
No.
G2G.
No. What is all this?
Okay, we will skip this round.
Okay.
ठीक है, चालेल.
But anyways, I'm interested. What is IMO?
IMO is, in my opinion,
Okay.
LMAO is laughing my ass out,
Okay.
and BRB is be right back.
BRB, I know. I've
see?
heard this.
I'm sure you've heard at least some of them.
Yeah.
Okay, the next round is who would you dedicate the following songs to? Politically.
I have to answer. See, you can ask.
There is.
If I have to answer or no, is my choice.
पापा कहते हैं बड़ा नाम करेगा.
पापा कहते हैं बड़ा नाम करेगा. Aniket Tatkare. He's my friend, so I can say.
Fair enough. बाजीगर ओ बाजीगर.
Bazigar. Who's the Bazigar in politics right now?
There's many. I think all of them count as bazigars if you're going to ask me.
No, I can't think of one. You say?
Can't think of one. This is unfair. You cannot just switch the question and answers like this. दो दिल मिल रहे हैं. 2 names.
अभी एकनाथ शिंदे और अजित पवार
Not bad.
वही मिल जाएंगे एक साथ.
ठीक है. The other one is कब तक चुप बैठे.
कब तक चुप बैठे.
It's a nice song.
Yeah, it's a nice song. I have many names, but no. It'll create controversy, so I won't say.
अरे one name, come on. It's not as a controversy.
No. I have to be away from controversies.
चालेल, okay. इधर चला मैं उधर चला.
वो तो सभी जा रहे हैं. Everyone will qualify into it. Other than us, everyone will qualify into this.
Everybody qualifies as well.
And it's so funny, no? Me and my husband had this conversation. So your friend was in Congress? No, he's in BJP. No, he's back in. It's too funny. It's a marketplace.
It is
No, but it's really, really sad.
It is genuinely a marketplace.
And it's really sad.
Yeah. That this is the condition of politics in Maharashtra.
No, the condition of ideology.
There is no ideology.
There is no ideology. Exactly. So that's the reason why people find us redundant when we talk about it. But
Because
eventually, I'll tell you, eventually it'll all boil down to ideology. Eventually.
I think so too.
It will.
As of today, it boils down more to marketing. It doesn't matter what you believe, it just matters what you appear to believe.
But still, I think eventually when there'll be real pain, see right now there's pain and then there'll be unbearable pain. That time people will look
to somebody
to guide them. Like price rise will be so bad. Unemployment in this country will be so bad. That time they will think, where are the ideology guys?
Yeah, now we need it.
But it's sad that we will wait till that day.
No, absolutely. Fair enough. Okay. What is one quote that has stuck with you? Any favorite sayings or quotes?
Humility is such a thing that if you know you have it, you've lost it.
That's a very, very nice one.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've heard it also. Okay, and now this or that round. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Movies or plays?
Movies.
Non-fiction or fiction?
Both actually. But fiction, chalo.
Fiction. Vada pav or misal pav?
Tough one. Both actually. Now, Misal, let's give it to Nasik.
Mr. Yeah, come on.
Ah,
Sweet or spicy?
both. Spicy mutton, sweet kulfi.
Alibag or Mumbai?
Both actually.
You have to
But
pick one.
Alibag.
Alibag. Come on. And we have a special trivia round for you.
Okay.
Do you know where the name Alibag came from?
Yeah. So there was a person, he had a garden,
Yeah.
and he was Ali, so, and it was his bag.
Yeah. So
So the
interestingly,
stories go. That's what the stories go. Yeah.
it was his name was Eli,
Huh?
and it was originally a Beni Israeli community.
Yeah.
So and Eli.
It's still there, huh?
Eliezer,
It's still there, yeah.
Exactly. Is a very Jewish name, so it became Eli Tzabag,
Uh-huh.
and then in
Yeah,
colloquially it
yeah.
eventually became
Yeah,
Ali Bag.
yeah.
But it's not Ali for the Muslim community as much as it's Eli
Eli
to
for the,
represent the Jewish
community, yeah.
which was a very interesting fun fact. I didn't know, my team just pulled it up
Yeah.
today. Okay, and moving on to our final round, which
Okay.
is the ballot box round.
Okay.
I am going to ask you to pull out a chit from here for me and give it to me. And I want you to talk to me a little bit about SEZ,
Okay.
Special Economic Zones. If you can first just explain to our audience, in layman's term, what this means.
So these are zones which are allotted by the government.
Yeah.
Where there are facilities for the industry to come in, buy land, do development and all
yeah.
of that, and build the companies.
Yeah.
But they look very glossy and a very good opportunity on the outside.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to go deep into them.
Yeah.
SEZ is a good idea.
Yeah.
But again, as I said, whose development? Is it the businessman's development?
Absolutely.
It is the land traders' development?
Yeah.
Or it's the people's development?
Yeah.
So we have never really opposed SEZs.
Sure.
But the commitments that we want from the SEZ is what we have purely fought for.
Okay.
So in pain, we revolted against the SEZ, but for the only reason that they were not giving the locals the rate they wanted. Only because PWP was there in Raigad district have farmers really got their land rates.
Sure.
And we have come on the streets time and again, fought for it, even during airport, during JNPT.
Yeah.
So all these projects happened, but we made sure that the farmers got the rate that they deserve. See, because land is something that you sell it today.
Yeah.
In the next 10 years, it's going to be so expensive. So a compensation has to be very, very heavy.
Yeah.
Which counters to he shouldn't regret it seeing the land 40 years down the line.
No, absolutely.
So compensations have to be really good. So in SEZs also, I think local jobs, environments, and very often villages also get shifted.
Yeah.
You have to shift the whole village.
Yeah.
And eventually what happens, if there is a job, people will ask you that you're not skilled enough.
Correct.
For example, Tanisha is a girl in the village. She's willing to work.
Yeah.
But the company will say, Tanisha, you don't have the qualifications. So usually our what we ask for is that you come with training centers.
Yeah.
You train the locals there.
Yeah.
And then hire the locals and give the land rates.
Got it.
So that's the stand, and this is the stand which we will take strongly in the coming next 10 years. In fact, yesterday only we had a party meeting.
Yeah.
And what are the things that we need to focus on? So local jobs is what we need to focus on, was our first thing on the agenda.
Absolutely. And I mean, SEZs would be good for that, for sure.
Anything, SEZs, tourism, we also need to look at the environment part, because sometimes SEZs get with them chemical industries. So if the chemicals go into the rivers, then what about fishing?
Yeah.
What about the Koli community, which is huge? What about the rice farms?
Absolutely.
So I think everything has to, its industrialization is very important, but the balance is equally important. Because again, Raigad being at the coast is extremely vulnerable to storms,
cyclones like we
exactly.
saw. Yeah.
So we really need to look at all these things, and it has to come in a balanced manner.
No, for sure.
It's very easy to say that, this one protested against this one.
Yeah.
But the list of things.
Why you did it. Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's a huge chunk of people doing rice farming.
Yeah. So
I always feel, I want to say through your interview, I always feel we really do not talk enough about the most basic need. Like food is our most basic
Yeah.
need. You can live without anything else but
But you
food,
can't,
right?
absolutely.
But do we give that much credit, care in our political and ecosystem about the farmer? We don't.
We don't.
And that
Absolutely.
is, if you're really young people are watching your channel, I really want them to think that. Think about the farmer every time you eat one more.
Morsel of food.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is 100%.
And we don't, because
we don't give them enough credit
because
for
we
their
don't
jobs.
experience them.
Yeah.
And even this narrative कि farmer का बेटे को engineer ही बनाना है, तो farmer कौन बनेगा?
Yeah.
I'm a farmer. I farm. I eat only from my
From
farm.
my farm.
Yeah.
That's something to be very proud of.
Yeah,
That is, and if you go to see, actually, the trend is sort of moving towards that as well, right? Now, suddenly, there's such a huge conversation about farm to table
Yeah.
and organic and fresh. And it took so long to get this conversation started.
Yeah. So point is that conversation has started, but how much of the see? If you might go to a Luke Coutinho store, you might find that red unpolished rice,
Yeah.
which is the cheapest
Yeah.
at the highest rate.
Yeah.
But how much? I'm very happy
Yeah,
it
yeah.
being branded and sold that way.
Absolutely.
But does the
How
return
much
come
is
to
the
my farmer?
Correct. Absolutely.
And that's where educating the farmer, that's where the role of the policy, that's where the role of the government to really educate the farmer that this is happening.
That's
You
where
need
it
to make
becomes
that
important.
opportunity and earn.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, to our concluding last section now, if you were chief minister for a day, what would you do?
I would really focus on humanitarian and farmer values.
Yeah.
And first of all, amongst all the policies, I would look at basic needs. Like how many children are sitting down and do not have a bench to sit on. I'll tell
Fair
you one
enough.
project I'm very, very proud of. I've done this. We donated to our NGO around 2,000 benches, and the project was north to south.
Yeah.
So we started from Bihar
Yeah.
to Maharashtra. We came down. We went to certain parts of the northeast. We came down to Pondicherry. So first we did a survey of how many children are sitting down. Have never sat on a bench.
That's
And then
when you
we-
say it, it's something that I had never even thought about. That there are children going to schools
Yeah.
that don't have desks.
Not at all. Yeah.
It's
Yeah. And it was, I mean, especially schools in Bihar and all,
yeah,
it was a harsh reality. I wouldn't want to say it on your channel because
Yeah.
it was too harsh to even see.
of course, yeah,
It was cold, they didn't have sweaters. And then we got them benches
yeah,
and good benches. So from Bihar till Pondicherry, if you go to on my social media, you'll see visuals. We only did benches. And I think that was a very, very
No, that's
satisfactory
wonderful.
project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So you would focus on these initiatives.
All
is
basics,
what
all
you're
basics.
saying.
Like, right now I'm doing homes in Gadchiroli
Yeah,
for people who pick chilies. You know how much money they get? I gone to Gadchiroli the other day. So for 1 hour of work, 1 kg of chilies, 10 rupees. And you should
What
see
are you
their
saying?
homes. You should see their homes.
Oh
They're
my
not
God.
homes. So I think
and Gadchiroli has
I think what
massive
happens
access
is we
problems. remember.
package whole
Yeah.
of Maharashtra like that, whole of India like that. But have we seen the real India?
Yeah,
Have we seen the real Maharashtra? So I
Absolutely.
think we need to figure these basics out first.
Yeah.
Roti kapda makan. Like you see if you meet girls in Tarapur, I've done a lot of cycles in Tarapur.
Yeah.
I've donated a lot of cycles in Tarapur. The girls are short because there's a major malnutrition problem there. So do we have those numbers? And it's easy. It doesn't take a lot of money to address this.
Yeah.
But are we giving enough time for these farmers? This thing? Even media should have more debates on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
But unfortunately, if you see, it's like, किसने कौन सी पार्टी छोड़ी? कौन
कौन से
कहाँ
कॉमेडियन ने
गया?
क्या बोला
हाँ.
इंटरनेट पे nonsense topics. There is
Who told whom?
absolutely.
Whose wife said what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's trending.
Absolutely.
So I think that takes away. Like Maharashtra needs help.
Maharashtra does need help.
Yeah.
Well said. Okay, very nice. On that note, we'll conclude today's interview.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming and giving us your time and for enlightening us about the
you.
plight of people around Maharashtra that a lot of people watching this show really would not have heard
Yeah.
before you said. Thank you.
Thank you.